Perhaps we've figured out the story behind why Doctor Doom resembles Iron Man. Interestingly, Kevin himself hinted at this story a long time ago. Ever since rumors surfaced about Robert Downey Jr. returning to the Marvel Universe, possibly as Doctor Doom, every Marvel fan has been asking the same question. Why does this new Doctor Doom look like Iron Man? Initially, there was a theory that this Doctor Doom might be a variant of Iron Man. However, Kevin shut down this conversation by stating that this Doom is just Doom and not an Iron Man variant. This put a halt to many emerging theories. But what if there's a wordplay happening here? Last week, a Reddit user proposed an intriguing theory. Doctor Doom isn't a variant of Iron Man. Instead, Iron Man was a variant of Doctor Doom. This theory is supported with some excellent explanations. First, it refers to the comics and Tony Stark's storyline. In the comics, Tony Stark's biological parents had a son named Arno Stark, who was born in a critical condition. To save him, Howard and Maria Stark adopted Tony and raised him as their son. Now, imagine in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, that Howard and Maria adopted a baby from Latveria, a war-torn country, and raised him as their own. This child grows up to become Iron Man. Meanwhile, in this theory, the Doctor Doom who looks like Tony Stark is from a universe where he wasn't adopted by the Starks. He knows his roots, excels in his studies, attends MIT, meets Reed Richards, learns mystic arts, and eventually returns to Latveria to avenge his family and become its ruler, Doctor Doom. So, in this perspective, there never was a Tony Stark in the MCU. It was Victor Von Doom all along. Plus, the real son of the Starks could appear in the Secret Wars soft reboot as a new Iron Man. This theory not only explains why Doctor Doom looks like Tony Stark, but also sets up a new Iron Man after the events of Secret Wars. There must be a significant reason why Kevin or anyone else would hint that Doctor Doom resembles Tony Stark. It adds layers of intrigue to this character. Some details further support this theory. Remember when Tony Stark met his father, Howard Stark, in Avengers Endgame? Howard mentioned his wife was pregnant, and Tony had a brief moment of confusion. This small detail could subtly add depth to Tony Stark's MCU arc. Imagine if Tony Stark's origin is altered and he is revealed to be a Latvian prince. This change would not only give his arc an emotional depth, but also make Doctor Doom's journey more impactful. Picture a character who was adopted and became a hero, while his parallel counterpart, fighting for his identity and country, turned into a villain. Another theory connected to this suggests that the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, is not the main timeline. The main Marvel universe is where characters like the Fantastic Four, X-Men, and other Avengers exist, while the MCU is a branch off this main Marvel timeline. This idea was hinted at in What If Season 2, where Supreme Strange sacrificed himself to restore his universe, which wasn't connected to the sacred timeline. This would explain why Tony Stark exists only in the MCU, while Victor Von Doom exists in other universes. It also sheds light on why Doctor Doom hasn't yet appeared in the MCU. We've discussed Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars extensively on this channel. In those discussions, I've detailed Doom's actions. Now let's compare those with Tony Stark. After the events of the first Avengers movie, Tony created an arsenal of Iron Man suits. Following his vision from Scarlet Witch, he collaborated with Bruce Banner to create Ultron. But Ultron set out to destroy humanity. And whether you believe it or not, the events in Age of Ultron triggered a chain reaction that led to the Avengers splitting up. This allowed Thanos to invade Earth, and the divided Avengers couldn't stop him. Similarly, Doctor Doom did something comparable before the Secret Wars. When Doom first learned about the incursions, he went on a mission to trace the root cause of the problem. He believed he was trying to save the multiverse, but his actions ultimately triggered the entire incursion phenomenon. Do you see any similarities between these two events? Now, many fans want a connection between Tony Stark and Doctor Doom, while others prefer Doom to remain as a standalone character. But people often forget that the Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, is heavily inspired by the Ultimate Marvel Universe. In this context, a twist like Doom's connection to Tony Stark makes perfect sense. Even in the Ultimate Universe, a character who is a hero in the main Marvel Universe is portrayed as a villain. This is none other than Reed Richards, aka the Maker. However, the MCU has already taken a reverse approach to some elements. For example, Chris Evans, who played the Human Torch in the Fox Marvel Universe, became Captain America in the MCU. So, the idea of seeing two characters with the same face isn't far-fetched, but Robert Downey Jr.'s case is different. The chances of Marvel introducing Doctor Doom as someone who looks like Tony Stark without any explanation are slim. Now, coming to the topic of the new Iron Man. In the Secret Wars storyline, before the Secret Wars events concluded, the entire multiverse was destroyed during the incursions. After Secret Wars, when the multiverse was restored, certain changes were made. One of the major changes being the integration of Miles Morales' Spider-Man from the Ultimate Marvel Universe into the main Marvel Universe. Taking this theory further, after Secret Wars, the main Marvel Universe will re-emerge, where all the missing characters will already exist. Instead of introducing them, Marvel will showcase a universe that already includes characters like the Fantastic Four, X-Men, and other Marvel heroes whose rights issues previously kept them out of the MCU. Among all these changes, bringing back Iron Man is essential. Based on this theory, the new Iron Man would look different from Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, which works perfectly. Imagine the logic being laid out in the MCU, like the Fantastic Four belonging to another reality and joining the MCU after their initial introduction. But what about the mutants? Mutants aren't just a family. They're a race with a detailed history. They can't just be plucked from one universe and placed into another. It wouldn't make sense. Take Magneto, for instance. Magneto, aka Max Eisenhardt, also known as Eric Lehnsherr, has an intense backstory tied to World War II, which shapes his entire character. How can he be introduced suddenly without his history? A better explanation would be to show the mutants and other characters already existing in some universe. So, what's your take on this theory? Do you accept the connection between Tony Stark and Doctor Doom? Or do you think Doom should remain in his iconic standalone role? This connection could give the MCU a new layer of depth. If this theory comes true, it won't just be a bold storytelling move, but could become a revolutionary moment for the MCU's future. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you like this video, don't forget to like and share it, and subscribe to our channel for more contents. To know about Cosmic Hierarchy of Marvel, watch the video above. And to know the future of Henry Cavill's Wolverine, watch the one below. I'll be back with a new video soon.